Hello everybody, and welcome to another YouTube tutorial. This time I'll be looking at speedrunning in Starcraft 2. If you guys have ever wanted to try speedrunning Wings of Liberty, this guide is for you. It's going to be very in-depth, go over all the missions, all the research, all the upgrades, and provide some tips and tricks as well to help you, get a really nice time on each of the missions. This first one is nice and simple. We just need to go through, so I ignore these two Marines as we run on through. Now, if you guys have been watching my Twitch streams lately, I've been doing a lot of speedrunning. So I thought I'd make this guide because I've been having a lot of fun and I feel like it'd be awesome if more people got involved. So you want to kill this Marine and keep on moving forward. But if more people got involved, then that would be great. So I want to make this guide for you guys. If you follow this, as we kill these Marines and keep moving forward, because we have to trigger the drop pods, as you see, so you want to move on as quickly as possible. But yeah, if you follow this guide, then I think you should be able to complete a run-through of this speedrun quite easily, in one sitting, and have a pretty decent time. So moving forward, we want to start a step, kill each Marine. You don't want to kill the truck, you just want to ignore it and run past it. Ideally, you want to lose no Marines there, but a better goal is to only lose one. I lost two, and that's fine as well. That's very average. It doesn't make that big of a deal. Next, you just want to go on to the end, kite forward, start a step, and kill this. Now, you noticed I moved a Marine behind Reyna, just to make sure he didn't get shot by the Vikings. But yeah, I did this mission in 2 minutes and 7 seconds. A very, very average and normal time. With practice, you guys will be able to get this very easy. First mission, piece of cake. This next mission, though, notoriously hard, and I am very, very bad at it. I don't think I've ever gotten close to the world record time on this. I'm like 5 seconds behind it. It is really, really difficult. So at the start, we want to select all our Marines and SCVs, build 2 Marines, hotkey them both separately, and turn off auto repair on the SCV. That's important. Next, you collect minerals with 1 SCV, and I keep sending it through. The SCVs will attack that Marine, and then move up to the high ground. You want to kite forward with these Marines and keep sending them forward. Make sure you attack with the SCVs so that they can help break down the Marines as well. Then you want to select that other barracks and build more Marines. Now your goal here is to not lose any Marines, and you also want to be moving your medics to the very front, because in this next section, the medics are going to die for us. Hopefully you only lose one, so the SCVs can start tanking something like this. Yeah, this was a really decent bunker, so we move forward, kill these 2 Marines, kill the Hellions, and you send the SCVs to deal with the factory. There's 1 Marine up there, so the SCVs have to kill that Marine, and then they start work on the factory. With your Marines, you're going to be targeting down the barracks, tech lab, then the depots, and finally the command center. You want to make them burn. You don't want to actually destroy the buildings, because that's wasted time. So we're going to be leaving these buildings all burning. Don't worry about this Marine that's about to pop out. We deal with them when we kill the Hellion that we have to drag down. So yeah, you put your buildings, make them burn. And as it goes on, the mission goes on, if you're finding that your rallying Marines, are coming up, you can use them to target down additional buildings, like the barracks that, might have needed a tiny bit more there. So there you go, you kill every building there. And the mission's over. 2:19, I believe, is the world record, or the time that was done in the world record run. So 2:27 is quite average. If you guys can get 2:30, 2:40, that's still quite good, don't feel too bad. Now the very next mission really sucks. It's an auto-scroller, meaning that you can't speed it up. It's 15 minutes of real time, 20 minutes in-game time. Yes, I know there's a difference between those things. But this mission is very easy. You actually can't lose it. All you have to do is leave 2 SCVs and at each entrance and build 2 bunkers. So that's what I'm doing right now. And then I'm going to go AFK. Going to go make myself a cup of tea, a coffee, smashed avo on toast with some bacon perhaps. Yeah, oftentimes when I'm doing offline speedruns, I'll literally go and make myself breakfast. But yeah, so this leaves us with a bit of time to talk. I'm going to skip through this mission, so don't worry. We're not going to watch it all. This is the setup. It's very, very simple. You can send 3 SCVs if you'd like to be extra safe. But yeah, so in this speedrun, you're going to have... the goal of it is to get all Protoss research. So that we can get drop pods as the ultimate goal. So we're going to be doing missions that give us Protoss research, as well as get us to char. That's the requirements. We're not going to be doing any missions that are unnecessary for that goal. So like the Zerg missions that, you have the choice at the start of the game to do, we don't have to do them. We completely skip them, and honestly, I have no idea what happened in that scientist love storyline anymore. It's been too long since I played it. But yeah, so enjoy this mission. As we move on to the next ones, I'm going to skip through. As we'll see, you literally can't lose this mission. So, enjoy it. There is, however, an Easter egg on this map that I won't spoil. But if you don't know what it is, go have a look, go have a find. It's quite cool. Build up an army and go find it. So yeah. The next missions are very, very tough though. 3 back-to-back. And they really suck if you lose them, because then you have to do this mission again, which always takes, as we can see here, 20 minutes and 12 seconds of in-game time. So the very next mission is the Marauder mission. And it's called Smash and Grab. We don't need to get any research or any upgrades before doing this mission. We can just hop right in. The goal of this mission is to move and kill the zealots at the end as quickly as possible. So we send marines down to the low ground, mine 1 in gas, rest on minerals, and attack the forward pylon that powers these cannons. This will drag the stalkers, so you want to run away with the marines, take them back up to the high ground to kill the zealot. But as you can see, it triggers this voice line, which actually makes the marauders spawn earlier. So micro a bit with the marines, make sure you don't lose any. This medic is going to be collecting that research. Now out of the barracks, we're just going to build marauders over and over and over. Now you have to do a bit of micro here. I like targeting down the stalkers with marauders while I use the marines to kill the zealots. Make sure you don't lose any units, because any units lost will be a time loss. And be careful when you move on to this next pylon with these marines down the bottom, because the cannon can actually hit them if the marines are down the bottom. So it's better to have them in the center or up top. Moving forward, you send these 2 marauders to kill these pylons. And you can also hotkey your SCVs, because we're going to be bringing them along as well. You want to move your marauder forward at half HP on the pylon, because they always cast these force fields. So you want to kill them before they cast again. That's good. Next, I'm going to lift up the command center, pick up 1 SCV, and use that to collect research around the map. So it's heavy multitasking, but don't worry. You want to bunch up your marauders into a conga line, 2x2. Move them like that. I accidentally lose a marauder in this fight. Not the best micro out of me. But you're just going to be fighting these stalkers. And then you're going to send the SCV onto the cannon. There you go. Now I also heard that my Protoss research was collected. It has a little ding sound. So I pick up the SCV with my command center. This is off screen, all done with hotkeys. And then I send this command center to my army. When you're moving forward, you want to move to the bottom side here so that the sentries don't cast. And then you do micro like that to keep your marauders alive. Now I don't do a very good job of this. Usually you want to keep your SCVs in the top left hand corner. But yeah, you want your medics to be healing properly so that your units aren't dying. But you want to try your best to kill these Colossus cells as quickly as possible. Collect the final research with your command center and that SCV. This was a pretty bad time out of me. And by bad, I mean average. If you get this time, good work. But the best time that you can get on this map is like 3:24, maybe a tiny bit quicker, but yeah, that's a really competitive time. The very next mission is the Reaper mission. It's called Devil's Playground. It's the first of the Tosh missions. We don't need to get any armory upgrades yet, just get right on into it. Now the goal of this mission is to collect 8,000 minerals, so we're going to be running around with Reapers, and we have a very optimized path to collect all 8,000. So immediately select 2 Marines, send them up to the top right hand corner, build 2 SCVs at the command center. You want to make sure that your Marines are bunched up, so that when you get up to this section here, they split off and they don't die. You send 1 off to the top left of this base, collect the minerals with the Reapers, collect these minerals with SCVs, pick up, send this command center to this gold base, and the gold base, you wanna like shift queue it so that it can load, it can land without you worrying about it. Now you're gonna pick up your main base and send that to the other base, other gold base. Make sure you dodge that lava. If you're not making it in time, if you don't have the multitasking for it, don't worry. You can actually just wait before that lava, and you'll miss the cycle, but it's okay, it's only a 30-second time loss. So now when you get to this section, you want to unload SCVs, send those SCVs down. It's a lot of multitasking, it will take a lot of practice, but this is the general idea. You want to have 5 with 8 and 5, if that makes sense, of SCVs. Now you split 1 Reaper off to collect these minerals, while the rest kill the hatchery. Collect these minerals, and then again with this one, you want to send it forward to trigger the Brutalisk. Collect that mineral patch, and this one as well. That one's really hard to get. Next, you want to kill this hatchery as well. And grab a low HP Reaper, because you're not going to save this one. And send it and pick up these minerals on the high ground. Collect these minerals and move forward, up onto the high ground. Click in the middle of these 3 patches, and then below the hatchery. Shift Q around, select them all and move to the low ground. Get the friends that Tosh sent and, you know, pick up the last minerals of the Brutalisk and the ones on the high ground near the command center. And then Shift Q around to try and get all these minerals. The best time that you can get on this map is 2:55, 2:56. If you get 3 minutes, you're doing really, really well. If you get 3 minutes 30 in your first go, that's really amazing as well. That's a very multitasking heavy mission. It will take a lot of practice, but it's very, very fun and possibly my favorite. Now this is our first armory trip of the game. We go in and we get every single Marine upgrade and every single medic upgrade. These are the ones that you can afford. So that's Stim, Combat Shields, and I honestly don't know what medic upgrades, what they do, but I should really have looked into that. But you get them anyway. Next we do Belshir. This is notoriously the most difficult mission. It is a run ender. But I'm going to do the safe strat. So the safe strat, you build a medic and a Marine. You want to box your army, send 4 SCVs to the low ground, and build 2 SCVs as well. So you want to split these 4 SCVs up onto the 4 Terrazine locations. Now once again, we built a medic and then a Marine out of our barracks, and 2 SCVs. Next you want to cancel the gases in this order. Top right, top left, and then the one below. And you need to do 5 cancels. It has to be in that order. And that despawns the wave that's going to come attack. Next, we lift off our buildings, our barracks and our command center. The barracks needs to go to the top left, and the command center needs to move over to these mining places. We set 1 SCV ahead, up to the top, to collect them. Now, we don't do any cancelling here, but if you're struggling, you can, and it will actually despawn a wave. That's an option. Next, we need to win this fight, and this is why this mission is hard. We've done the safe version, where you get 3 Marines, and so it makes winning this fight much easier. But there's a unsafe version, or the much trickier version, the much faster version, where you only build a medic. You don't build the other Marine. And it's faster, it's like 20 seconds faster. But it's so much easier to lose this fight. Next, these units will go up to collect that research. And the barracks has landed, and we'll build a Marine as well. I actually made a small mistake with my command center in this clip. The command center can move more up. Because as you can see, our last gas miner is kind of waiting, you know. Or taking a long time. So you want to move the SCV more up. And the Marine picks up the last research to finish the mission. It's a really, really tough mission. Don't feel bad if you lose. But if you build the Marine medic, then it's much, much safer and easier. Now the next mission, before this we're going to go to the laboratory. This is the train mission. We're going to pick up the attack speed buff, the ultra capacitors. And the trick with this mission is we're actually going to be doing it on brutal. So make sure you change to brutal, not normal. The reason why we do it on brutal is that the trains spawn quicker. This mission is essentially an auto-scroller, but by playing on brutal it saves 4 minutes. So the community allowed us, to play on a higher difficulty if it speeds up a mission. You're just not allowed to play on a lower difficulty, if that makes sense. So even though this is normal any percent, you can play any of the missions you like on hard, any of them on brutal. But this is, I think, the only one that will generate a time save, because the trains do spawn quicker on the harder difficulty. This mission you want to run around with the Diamondbacks and the Marines at the start to collect all the minerals, all the Diamondbacks around this area. And I also collect the, or clear out, sorry, the secondary base that you can take. For this mission, you're going to want to build 3 barracks worth of units. Yeah, so I clear out this base, and then I get ready for the first train, which comes out of the north position, the north track. And while I'm doing that as well, I'm going to send around to some locations that I know, because I played this mission a lot, where there's minerals. This mission you'll learn as you go. It's okay, don't worry too much. You can't lose more than a second on this mission. So, yeah. It is possible, however, to actually lose this mission. Whereas, 0 hour you can't lose. It is very easy to lose this mission, so pay attention. Yeah, we collect these, start building units, Marines. I built 2 medics as well, I think. And you want to be building supply depots. It's a lot of macro. It's not too stressful. Don't worry if you're missing it a tiny bit. But yeah, some solid macro should be needed to do this nice and clean. Overall, I will say that I'll also be talking about each specific wave that comes. So essentially the way this mission works is that for every train that comes, once you kill it, something happens. The Terran army will send an army to your base, or they'll send the Marauders, or they'll start building bunkers. So I'll talk about all this stuff, and there is one thing that you really have to look out for, or else it'll go really, really badly. The last thing that I'll say is that you really need to make sure that you don't forget your upgrades. You can get +1/+1, and due to the research that we just got, getting +1/+1 is very, very important, because it gives you extra attack speed as well. Now, you're also going to want to make sure you get the Zerg research in this mission. So, you have plenty of time to go around and find it. Don't worry. Just make sure you don't forget it, because I do believe we actually need it. Used to not need it for this run, but 5 Zerg research I think is a necessary amount to make one of the later missions easier. It wouldn't be the end of the run, but it definitely makes it easier. So I'm going to be collecting these Diamondbacks. These are where they're hidden. It's the last 2 ones. Nice and simple. And I'll show you where the last Zerg research is as this mission goes on. The next train comes out of the second track, and they start sending units with their army this time. But this one you don't have to worry about at all. It's the next wave that you have to worry about. Now also as well, what you need to remember is that in this campaign we're going to be using the mercenaries a couple of times. The mercenary marines, that is. So you're going to want to use all 12 of them in this mission, which is 3 times 4. So make sure you're getting them as early as you can, because they do have a cooldown, and they add quite a bit of DPS or something like this to help with the last train. Yeah, you want to kill this train, all good. Just Marine medic, don't worry too much, just keep building up your 3 barracks. Like I said, you actually can't gain any time on this mission. You can only lose time, and that's because essentially we're going to clear out one of the bases that the train goes to, or departs from, sorry. We're going to completely clear that out and get there with our units, so we kill the train, the last train, as soon as it spawns. Now after this one, after that second train, they send an attack wave, so you want to wait for that. Then you can move to the south, the southern track, where the next train will be, and pick up the last Zerg research. I'm a bit slow here, but it actually doesn't matter. I made sure to put that dog down, I guess. Oh no. But yes, the next train will be coming from the bottom track. I also, just to note, I leave my war pigs out of my main army so that they don't take any damage, they don't die. I just want to leave them healthy. We'll bring them for the last charge. But yes, once again, this army that they're sending isn't that scary, so don't worry about it. As long as you have some medics, you'll be fine. And I'll be grabbing the Zerg research after this train. But yes, so ways that you could possibly lose time on this mission definitely comes about because of losing too many units. You want to make sure you have a healthy medic count so that your Marines actually do survive. Here I go pick up the last Zerg research. This mission you can sort of do things in your own order, but yeah. So next they're going to be building a series of bunkers. So I just like patrolling my units around so that, I stop them from going up, kill these SCVs, whatnot. I think in this case, I split my army into two. And I leave my Diamondbacks at the bottom as well. You're also probably noticing that our main base is actually mining out. And you only want to go up to 18 or 19, 20 SCVs, don't go any more than that. But once our main base mines out, we're going to float the command center to the second base, which is up north, and send all our SCVs over there. You actually get a lot of minerals and gas dropped, so you don't need to mine any gas in this mission, because the trains provide ample resources. Just make sure you don't get supply blocked, all this kind of, normal macro stuff. When the next train spawns, it's going to be from the middle track, I believe. Yes. Now the trick with this one is that they actually send a Raven, and it does Hunter-Seeker missile, which, if you guys know how the old Hunter-Seeker missile works, it's kind of overpowered, If you're not paying attention, it's going to Hunter-Seeker missile your Marines, and you're going to lose your entire army. So you actually have to be very, very careful. This is the one trick that I was talking about that you have to look out for. The lucky thing is they only send 2 waves of Ravens. So I always just suicide a Diamondback. You could also leave a Marine to the front as well, but I don't really like my Diamondbacks. This next train goes down. Nice and simple. After this one, they're going to be sending an attack wave to your base. But the trick with this attack wave is that it has a Raven as well. So you need to sacrifice another Diamondback. You also notice that I called down my second lot of War Pigs. Make sure you're constantly doing that. And I've transferred my command center to the northern base. So here you go, here's that Raven. Nice and simple, nothing to worry about. The next train will be spawning out of the top track, and again there's going to be a Raven with this. Just while we're waiting for that train, I guess I'll talk about a couple of things. You're probably wondering, why am I playing in Portuguese? This is kind of a joke on my Twitch stream if you're ever watching. But always on this mission, people ask, why is your game in Portuguese? I don't know why they always ask on this mission, but it always happens. The reason is, it's actually the fastest language for the speedrun. And you'll see this later, and I'll bring it up then. But voice lines oftentimes delays missions. We're trying to skip scripted voice lines, But it just happens that the Portuguese voice actors speak very fast, especially Portuguese Zero Tool. And so, yeah, it's the most appropriate language for the full speedrun. If you want to do individual levels, there's actually specific ones for each level that you can look up on speedrun.com. But yeah, that's why we use Portuguese for the full run. I'll also talk about it as well. If you guys want to follow the scene, go to speedrun.com/SC2 WOL, Wings of Liberty. I believe that's the link. You can see all the runs there. Hopefully you'll see me owning the world record soon enough. I'm getting close to it. I should have really... I'll be honest with you guys. The reason why I made this video is because I couldn't get the world record. I was like, yeah, I'll make a guide after I get the world record. But the world record was taking too long. Anyway. After that train, a Dominion Marauder squad comes. Just kill them. Stim into them. Boom, boom, boom. They surprisingly target your medics, which is kind of funny. So you're going to hear them say, "Ah, medico, medico." But yeah. The trick with the next trains after these Raven ones is that they start sending fast trains and Blue Flame Hellions. So the way I set it up, I think works quite well. I'll be sending my Diamondbacks to the front, putting them on hold position, sending my medics to the front with a small group of Marines, and then leaving the majority of my Marines at the back. This is just so, you know, my Marines don't line up and all die to the Hellions. But yeah, you're going to have to probably do some kiting to make sure that, you know, the train doesn't escape you. Because it's actually surprisingly tanky. So there you go. And just another reminder so you don't forget it at this point like I did in one of my runs yesterday. Make sure you haven't forgotten your upgrades. Yeah. So the final thing that comes is another attack onto your base. This one does not have a Raven, so you don't have to worry about sacrificing a Diamondback. But as you can see with my Diamondbacks there, the next train once again has Hellions, and it's a fast train. So I'm just pre-splitting them. At this point, I'm also hotkeying my SCVs because we're going to be bringing the boys for the final charge. So yeah, I'm just waiting for the next attack wave. Nice and simple. And I'm going to move up to the north for the last train. Oh, sorry, second last train, but the last one that we can't speed up. So in this mission, you're probably going to see two times very often. You're either going to see 20 minutes or you're going to see 1959. If you do the mission really, really well, you're going to get 1959. If you sort of screw up the ending or lose too many Marines, lose too many War Pigs, then you're going to get 20. So you can actually lose a second. The biggest thing with this mission is that you have to remember to play on Brutal. And you then have to remember to go back to normal for the next mission. I've lost so many runs by playing the very next mission, Cutthroat, on Brutal and having to restart. It's really upsetting if it happens, so don't let that happen to you. So I'm going to bring all my units together. I've brought my SCVs. My SCVs are going to come with my Diamondbacks. I'm just going to send them through and sacrifice. They're going to tank a bunch of units, you know. Or hopefully they'll tank. I'm going to send on through. Got my War Pigs in the back. Hopefully they don't die. But yeah, there's two tanks. So we're going to stim forward. Start a step as best as we can. We're going to lose some Marines, but it's okay. Kill that tank and keep moving forward. Kill everything protecting the train depot. I guess that's the word that you'd call it, right? The train depot. And I always just rally to the factory. Because the Marines that you rally from here on out aren't actually going to be able to get to the train. They're just going to bring units and be annoying. So I just leave them at the factory. I put my War Pigs in the front. Move my medics away. In fact, I move my medics very away because there's actually going to be an attack wave that spawns down the bottom. And I want to keep them away from my Marines. So I get as much DPS as I can on the train. Next train's about to spawn. We're going to stim. And you're going to spam A-click. And hopefully kill the train as quickly as possible. And there you go. There's your great train robbery. With a lot of dead medics, apparently. So the very next mission is Cutthroat. It's much like Devil's Playground, but very, very tricky. Make sure you switch back to normal. We don't need any research, we don't need any upgrades. Make sure you switch back to normal. I can't stress this enough. Now I'm going to be doing the old strategy on this mission. There is a newer strategy that's like a minute quicker, or 30 seconds quicker. But it's very, very difficult. Very, very hard. So I'm just going to give you the old strategy, which is simple and won't go wrong. First Marine collects all these minerals. Get the medic. Start moving up with your army. You're going to queue up 2 medics, 3 Marines, and 5 SCVs. And you're not going to build anything after that. Move forward, collect these 2 with that Marine. Move down, and you're going to get the fire of this Marine and pull it down. Because that one essentially blocks us from moving forward, you know. But we don't really want to fight those 2 other Marines, so we can just run past at this point. Kill these 3 Marines. There's a Protoss research up here. So kill the destructible rocks. Move forward. I like, you know, having 1 Marine that collects. If you kill these port junkers, they drop money, by the way, if you guys didn't know. So you always want to kill them if you can. And it's actually a good way of timing, because if you're on schedule, you'll be able to kill that first one. If you guys are being too slow, you won't be able to kill it. So it's a good way to measure your pace in this mission. So we just keep moving forward. We want to kill this Marine, kill the turret, and send 1 Marine to collect all these minerals up here. We don't want to send them all. Send 1 Marine, shift queue him a bunch. All these minerals. We're going to rally our very last Marine out the front of our base, and he's going to collect the research down here. These vultures are going to clear out the Marines for him, while we continue to collect all this money. So there you go. Kill that destructible rocks, collect the research, and shift queue to pick up all the money. Keep moving forward, keep moving forward. Now you're going to place mines on the ramp here. Stim forward here. Or you want to bait it out actually, and then, you know, stim forward. Pull the Goliath into the mines. Goliaths are really, really tough to deal with. Collect all the money. Nice and good. And these vultures are going to collect the last research for us by killing that destructible rock and going up. Move your camera to look over the base. Unsiege the tanks. Put out the bunkers. And it's nice and simple. I just had a thought just now that you could probably pull your SCVs with this army. I never actually thought about doing that before, but that actually might make the time a bit quicker. Next is the hard part, well, the easy part of the mission, but you can screw it up. Move forward, up this ramp, start a step forward. There's a big tank that does a lot of damage, so you want to start a step forward, kill that, keep moving forward. Don't worry about the bunker. Kill the fire bat, keep moving forward. Always just keep start stepping forward. And once you kill enough, attack this planetary fortress, and you've got yourself a decent time. Now the personal best of someone on this map is 3 minutes 30. If you do an advanced strategy, you can definitely get 4 minutes. Doing this old strategy, you get 4 minutes 24, 4 minutes 30, 4 minutes 40, that kind of stuff. So yeah. We're going to do our research here. We're going to get drop pods, or sorry, orbital depots, and the fortified bunker upgrade. And we're going to be going and choosing the Ghost mission, the Nova mission. Unfortunately, while it actually would be nice if we could help Tosh and get Spectres, the Ghost mission takes 3 minutes 30. The Tosh mission takes 10 minutes. So it's just the choice that we have to make. Move the Nova forward, snipe, move all your Marines past the bunker. You don't need to fight it. Keep moving forward. Always just keep moving forward. Kill the Marines, snipe the Marauder, and move the Marines to the low ground. Nova needs to shoot the gate to open it. Marines will stim forward. You're going to snipe another Marauder. Essentially all you're going to do in this section is kill Marauders. So, snipe the other Marauder. Marines kill that one. Leave the Marines. Make the Marines attack the tank as you send Nova forward. You need to dominate that Marauder, snipe the other one, and keep moving forward. Domination allows you to steal a unit, so we're going to use it on the battlecruiser, upcoming as well. And the battlecruiser is going to Yamada cannon the objective. You're going to be shift clicking to make sure it all kills. You can snipe the Spectre if you want, but yeah, I don't think you need the money, but I always do. You want to snipe the Marauder here, dominate the Raven, and immediately send it forward. You're going to queue up and kill that Viking with Nova. And you also want to kill your Raven, so I send it into the missile turret. Then you're going to dominate the other Viking. What this does is it opens the landing pad. The landing pad opens when both Vikings die, but if you dominate one, that's like it dies. Select the Raven and send it forward. And Nova can move forward and dominate this tank on the high ground. Throw a EDD. Is that what they're called? I can't remember. You'll notice I split off a Reaper there, the low health one. And there is a reason for that. Next you send your Reapers and Nova and the Raven forward. Nova will get this nuke. You're going to use another point defense drone and kill the Terrazine tank. Now the reason why I split that Reaper off to the side is if you lose all of your Reapers and if you lose your Raven, Jim will actually send you reinforcements and it costs 10-15 seconds. Yeah, so now we've got a nuke on Nova. We're going to send it to this north side with the air units. Make sure you're shift queuing through. Dominate the Raven to do some point defense drone. Banshees will kill the Marauder. Vikings will get high ground vision. And then you're going to nuke. Now this might actually be quite a bit for you on the first time, so take your time. Don't worry if, you're not getting 3 minutes 30, I think I got in this mission. I think the world record for this mission is 3 minutes 25. As we can see here, we got 3 minutes 30. That's the time in the current world record run, so that's a really decent time. But it's a lot of multitasking and constantly moving forward and stutter stepping. So the next one, we're going to be doing our big armory buy of the game. We're going to be getting the Marauder upgrades, the SCV upgrades, and the bunker upgrades, just both of them for each. And then we're going to be getting the Ghost upgrade, the second one, which means that cloaking doesn't require energy. So this mission is really, really fun. Maybe you guys didn't know, this is the one with the drill, and you're like, oh, we have to wait, it's another auto-scroller, right? Another auto-scroller, oh no. If you kill all the Protoss in this mission, the mission ends. So we're going to stim this Marine, send him to the right around the Zealot to trigger this voice line, which drops the tanks. Now you need to do a bit of micro here, to not lose any. Take a full health Marine and send it down to the tanks. The tanks are going to shoot the pylon, not the cannons, shoot the pylon. And then shift Q the tanks to shoot the top pylon, top cannon, sorry, so that the splash doesn't hit the Marine that you've stimmed forward, okay? This Marine you can stim again, and you want to send it to the high ground. Be careful with your units attacking these cannons. You want the cannons to die, but you want to get to the high ground before the cannons die, or else there's like a 20-30 second voice line. Next, we send 4 SCVs to the low ground and build a command center. And the upgrade that we just got for the SCVs allows multiple buildings. Awesome. So we're going to have a quick 2-base economy. Very, very nice. We're going to move the barracks and factory away because we're going to be building add-ons with them. Throughout this entire mission, you're going to want to be building SCVs constantly. Next, we're going to go kill this Stalker and kill this cannon. Now remember, the win condition for this mission isn't kill all the Protoss army, it's kill all the Protoss buildings. So you have to kill this cannon, you have to kill this pylon. If you left the cannon alive earlier, then you also need to kill that. So you can use the drill to kill them, for example. We're going to be moving to the other side with our army and clearing out the other cannon and pylon. Throughout all of this, constant SCV production. This is a pure macro mission. It's a really, really fun mission, and I think the highlight, I would say, of the entire campaign. Once you get to the other cannon, you're going to want to start +1. Essentially, you start +1 if it doesn't cut into your SCV production, if that makes sense. Now, at 3 minutes, you're going to want to put 3 guys on gas, as well as start your factory reactor. I was a tiny bit late with gas this game, but that's all good. Then you're going to start the reactor on the barracks. Keep building SCVs, siege up these tanks here, and leave them until you clear out 2 waves. So there's first Stalker, and then there'll be a 2 Zealot Stalker wave that comes later. We're going to be building 5 barracks. You can also build 4 barracks. There's sort of debate about which one's better. Eventually, you're going to want to build 5 anyway. So for the beginner strategy, I think building 5 is easier because it's less multitasking. If you build 4, you have to build the 5 when you're attacking, so it can be tough. But yeah, after the factory is built, the reactor and the barracks as well, they're going to start 2 more reactors. And now you're just going to fill out all the add-ons with your barracks. Nice and simple. You want to stop at 32 SCVs, which happens when you have 14 on the natural. With an added bonus of you have to send 1 from your natural to your main base, but that's whatever. So 15 on the natural. So here's all the barracks. We've got 5 building. Lift up, get that other one onto the reactor. I'm going to send 2 SCVs to the low ground and build a bunker. This is going to start helping us when we push up the ramp. And then you just want to start building Marines. So I've reached 32 SCVs. Build a supply depot, don't get supply blocked. Move these tanks forward. Move the factory forward. The factory is going to provide high ground vision. So you need to start moving that one. And you're going to put 6 Marines in this bunker when it's done. Get +2 as soon as you can. And kite these units up into your army, into your tanks. Make sure you don't lose anything. Really sucks if you do. Now you want to send the factory forward. Make sure that your SCVs are set to hold position and are repairing the bunker. You can stim with your units in the bunker by selecting the bunker. And you also want to focus down the Colossus with the siege tanks. Now all it is don't get supply blocked. Build medics with what available gas you have. You'll see I send 1 Marauder up to attack that cannon, which pulls down the next Colossus. There's 2 Colossus in each of these bases, which are the real tricky units in this mission. But yeah, so you want to build medics with what gas you have, and make sure you don't forget the war pigs. I just called them down. Now once you get control of the drill, kill this pylon by sending your factory forward. This depowers cannons, right? Kill this other pylon just because you can. And then kill the 2 Archons to the top. Now if you've done this right, Colossus will be spawning soon. So you want to save the drill to kill this Colossus. And here it comes, I think. Now? Yeah, okay. There's the Colossus. Use the drill to kill it. Then you want to use the drill to kill the 2 other Protoss Archons. And then the drill for the rest of the game, or for the rest of this first base, you just want to be using constantly on buildings. I find it's really nice to use it on pylons, because pylons often are powering cannons. So if you can, depower the cannons, it makes it much easier. And really what you need to do in this mission is not lose units, That's actually the big time save. Don't lose any units. So this factory is going to be providing us with vision as it goes forward. The drill's constantly attacking buildings. See, I target down the pylon there because it's less tanky than a cannon. And just constant macro as well. Next, once you get to this stage, make sure you don't lose units to the Colossus. So I forgot about that. There's another Colossus coming up as well. You're next going to send your factory to the other ramp, because you want to get the high ground vision for the factory to kill the Colossus. Now still with the drill, I'm just killing all these buildings. At some point I will drag another Colossus into my army, and the drill will be used then. Try and micro your units as best as you can to save Marines. Saving Marines is the difference between getting, 14 minutes, 13 minutes, and getting 12 minutes. It's really, really important. So there you go, kill that Colossus. And just keep moving forward. You want to start rallying units to your second base. The reason why we want to do that is that there's a War Prism there. The War Prism that just went past our army actually dies to a missile turret, so we don't have to worry about that one. But yeah, the one down here you do have to kill. Next, we're going to send our SCVs on the natural, and maybe the ones in our main base as well, just to be extra safe. We're going to send them and attack the Protoss base while sending the factory up. Make sure you have your drill selected, and don't lose vision of the Colossus. Kill both Colossus, ideally, and send your units up. Now immediately you need to kill the Protoss research, shrines, whatever they're called, with the drill. So I don't know if I've done it yet. Yeah, I started it. So shift Q around, make sure you collect the Protoss research. Like I said, you cannot miss any Protoss research in this run. So it's very, very punishing if you make a mistake here. You're gonna have to wait. Surprisingly, my time in this mission is like one of the best times I've ever gotten. Why can't I do this in a full run? If I had done this time in a full run, I would have had the world record by now. Kinda sucks. But yes, there you go. Collect the last Protoss research, kill the last building, and you're done. I think this is a 12:25, which is an insanely good time. It's theorized and done on slower difficulty, or slower speed, sorry, that an 11:30 is possible. But in an RTA, that's very, very tough to do. So if you guys can get 13 minutes even, be very, very happy. Next, we're going to do the Protoss missions, and we're just going to be doing them as quickly as possible. The biggest thing here is that this is the reason why we play in Portuguese. Zeratul in English speaks really slowly, and in this mission, in the third mission, he speaks quite a bit, He's exposition dumping. So in Portuguese, he's very, very fast, and I think it saves like a minute. Like, it's actually something kind of insane. So do this cool little thing where we get vision through this section. But don't worry if you miss it. Don't worry if you miss any of this stuff or get delayed, because he has to talk all the way anyway. So as long as you're getting through it at a fine pace, you actually can't lose time on this section. Yeah, you're just going to blink through. It's quite simple. And get to the research. As we can see, he's still talking about spore crawlers. He's going to start talking about, like, the one across the gap or something like this. Yeah, across the chasm. And then he'll talk about the Overlord. So Zeratul speaks forever. This mission is probably the only mission in the game that has any RNG in it. But I also think that maybe you can control it. I'm still investigating it. But you'll see it in this next section. So we want to blink immediately, keep moving up, and then as soon as your blink comes off cooldown, blink onto the low ground. An overseer is going to come from the bottom left. You're going to disable it, like that. Now there's Mutalisks that are going to appear. This is where the RNG happens. Sometimes you can like dodge the Mutalisk with your Stalkers. But not this time. You saw that I damaged my Stalker. So if any Stalkers are not being attacked by a Mutalisk, I will use Zeratul to damage it once. And that's because we're going to blink down here. Then we're going to use our Stalkers to kill themselves. Keep running forward with Zeratul. We want all of our Stalkers dead. Okay? We can disable the Broodlord if you like. It helps. Because we want the Stalkers dead by blinking down here to get all of these Stalkers back alive so we can win this fight as well. Now you want to blink up here, kill this Overlord. You want to make sure you don't do that too quickly because sometimes if you go too quickly, the Overlord spawns from the bottom right side. So take your time with that. Next, you blink up here, find this little nook, and this is a very important blink, and very, very tight. If you screw that one up, he has more voice lines, and the bane of this speedrun is voice lines. Position your stalkers like that, because they'll be regrouping with Zeratul in a second. After this one, don't blink at all. You just want to run, because you blink across this. If you blinked, it's not a time loss, but it's not the best, as you'll see at the very end of this section. Again, you can't really lose time on it, so just get all these blinks right. They're kind of cute, they're kind of enjoyable. I think if you've played this game only casually and never seen it before, you'll enjoy this mission. Blink the stalkers up, kill the rocks, and you want to start killing the army. So essentially, if you are really fast, you can get here and start killing units quicker. If you're slow, it's not going to take any time off you, but you won't be able to kill as many units. So kill the Ultralisk, disable it, and move forward. Next, I blink the Zeratul forward, Stalkers, and make sure you don't forget the 6th Stalker that they give you. The next thing that we're going to do as we kill this army is we're going to use Zeratul to kill, and the Stalkers to kill Carax. Anyway, you want him dead because he has voice lines. We're going to blink our Zeratul forward, and you want to kill the buildings. Kill the buildings. They're the important things here. Also, disable the Broodlord if you can. It actually saves quite a bit of time. Now you want to use Zeratul to kill that middle Spinecrawler, because it spawns the Ultralisk. And if I disabled the Broodlord properly, my Zeratul would have been able to help fighting the Ultralisk. So there you go, you get the last research. You want to blink immediately. And now you only send Zeratul forward and wait with the Stalkers at this location near the rocks. Because they're going to assist Zeratul destroying these rocks by shooting over the wall. Then you're going to send Zeratul to the north, blink the Stalkers over, and they're actually going to provide high ground vision, because there's a trigger. So there you go, that's a 630 or a 631, I think. 632, it's fine. World record on that mission, I think, is 623. 625 would have been a very, very, very good time. Just get right on into the next Zeratul mission. These ones, we're racking up the Protoss research, you know? I think we just got 3 Protoss research, right? I might be wrong, but yeah, these missions, we really get the Protoss research. Build a pylon immediately and send 2 probes out. One to the right and one down south. We're going to build 2 pylons. Look at where I position them. We'll get a voice line about the Dark Shrine. If you position the southern pylon incorrectly, you'll get a voice line about the robotics, and it slows you down. When your first pylon finishes, immediately build a Zealot. Immediately. Because the trigger for this mission, for the bridge that spawns, that we'll see a bit later, is building 5 units, or something like this. And your opponent's units, them building units, also counts. So that's why we're going to kill units here with the Dark Templar. Send these 2 forward, the Dark Templar as well as the probe. And don't get too close to the Templar archives. If you get too close to the Templar archives, you get a voice line. So you want to build it from a distance. Kill that sentry, kill that zealot, kill this stalker. By the way, after the first zealot, we queued up a DT. Now you select all of your probes and that zealot and immortal back at home, and you want to send them. So the macro for this mission was zealot, DT, zealot. That's our 3 units that we make. Now we're going to send all of our units to the bridge. So our DT's coming. A high Templar will spawn, but we want to kill it. So we're going to send it up to meet its maker. But yes, now we shall wait here for the bridge to spawn. Technically, there's a way to get an insanely fast bridge spawn. I don't know how to do it. So you kill the Stalker, and then you kill the Stalker that's to the side of the cannon. Run your DTs by. And you want to get one hit on the first preserver, and then split one DT off, and then the next two go to the other two. If you can, use the Immortal, the Zealots that you got through to attack it, but it's kind of hard to time up, so really just focus on the DTs first of all, properly splitting them. And yeah, I think I could have sent that first DT, split it off a tiny bit quicker. There you go, that's a 320, I believe. Yep, nice fast time. Finally, we'll be doing the third Zeratul mission. Unfortunately, we don't do the hour-long final Zeratul mission, but we do this one. This one is kind of relaxing, so that's kind of what I find with the Zeratul missions. Once you get good at them, they're kind of a break in the run, so it can be very, very nice. Once again, Zeratul speaks a lot, so you don't have to worry about being slow at this start section, and you don't have to worry about blinking onto this platform, because he's going to say 3 voice lines anyway. You have time. Don't worry, don't fret too much. But we are going to send this observer to this high ground to the top right, and that is where we'll be sending Zeratul to blink. Essentially, the goal of this mission is to get around to the 4 Overlord tendrils or whatever with Zeratul, and get all the research. So I'm going to blink up to this high ground with Zeratul, send him there, then I'm going to start working on getting the research. So I split up my probes to follow the Colossus, queue up some commands on the Colossus, and essentially just up to that, top left area, there's an obelisk, which we need, and so we need to build a pylon there, and you see the next obelisk here. For this jump, you want to line up to the right of this pillar, and then shift Q. So it's a tricky blink to get, but once you know how to set it up with the observer, it's quite simple. Then you're going to blink over, get to the research, very simple. Build a pylon at the obelisk. I think, make sure you don't build it on the robo. I'm not certain, but I imagine that it will spawn a unit. And if it spawns a unit, then that's not good, because it'll probably have a voice line. Anyway, we blink through, disable that overseer, keep going through, blink onto the next one. And then when he says a line like Alegria or whatever, that line, you build the pylon. Around this time. I don't know the exact optimal time to build it. Maybe it's a tiny bit later. Maybe it's now. But you can experiment with that. You're not going to lose any time in-game, but it will affect your real time. So yeah. Nice and simple. There you go. So by doing that pylon at that time, making this High Templar speak, Zeratul doesn't do his last voice line. So he can do a real time save if you time it very nicely. So there you go, that's a 318. Very, very good time. The next mission is MOEDIUS Factor. We need to buy the CC upgrade, the second CC upgrade for Orbital Command. So we go buy Orbital Command, and I believe that is our last armory of the game. So immediately get into the medevac mission. Technically, you don't need the command center, or the Orbital Command Center for this mission, but it makes it nicer. Immediately lift up your starport and your factory and send them out. Build a starport, drop a mule, make sure this starport completes really quickly, and build 2 marines. That's the macro. 2 marines and a medevac, sorry. Now we're sending these buildings out to trigger voice lines. So we want to send them over the soldiers. So these guys will be triggered by placing that factory down. So there you go, that's 2 easy voice lines. Now you're going to pick up 1 marine with this medevac. Start attacking that data core. Land the starport there to trigger their voice line. Grab the Spartan company so he doesn't attack the spore crawler. If he attacks the spore crawler, it draws a Hydralisk and it can get a bit dicey. Pick up all these units and move up north. This is very multitasking heavy. You've sent your other two medevacs to this location, and you're killing the first data core. These guys take this nice sneaky path, watched a few times, into the second data core area. And now that they're all dropped down, you want to hotkey them and stim them and attack the data core. Next, we want to trigger the voice line for the Brutalisk. So sneak past. Don't let the Brutalisk attack you. It does a lot of damage. It destroys medevacs very quickly. Now we're going to drop off here. This is another mission where voice lines take up a lot of time. So we're going to stim forward, kill all these units on the ground, and kill the last data core. If you're really quick, and you make the voice lines line up perfectly, I made a mistake somewhere in this run. I don't know where it is, but you can get a 304. If you line it up perfectly. If you line it up quite well, you get a 308. If you're any slower, then, you know, you're getting 312, that kind of stuff. Because unfortunately, the timer doesn't end when you kill the third data core. It ends when the guys stop talking, and it fades to black. Kind of sucks. So the very next mission that we're going to be doing is called Supernova, and it's the Banshee mission. We don't need any upgrades yet. Like I said, I think the armory is all done. We will be getting one more laboratory visit, but that actually happens after this mission. So we cloak our Banshees, and the reason why it happens after this mission is it has 4 Protoss research. So yeah. So you send your Banshees around this side, make sure they don't get hit by the cannon, attack the pylon, split them into 2s. This mission will take a bit of practice, because essentially we're gonna sneak the Banshees through a place where there's no detection and get to the goal, essentially. It's kind of fun to watch. Build 1 medevac and send 1 marauder to collect that research on the low ground. Make sure you build the medevac. That's the most important thing. We're going to send our Banshees up over the Stalker Sentry, up onto this high ground. If you take a bit of damage, it's okay. Just don't take a lot, because it'll make the ending harder. We're going to go down this ramp. Yeah, we took, 1 shot there, that's fine. We'll move up through this tree, over this shrine place. We're going to take damage to the cannon, but that's expected, that's normal. Now select your highest HP Banshee and start attacking the cannon, and then select it, and you're going to have to move it back. If you don't move it back, it's going to die. And essentially, if you lose a Banshee, it's plus 20 seconds, So you need to make sure that you don't lose any Banshees. But essentially, they're going to, win the mission for us. We're going to send the medevac out, send a marauder to pick up this research, split the needle between these 2 stalkers, and I've also hotkeyed my orbital command center. This is why we got the orbital command center. It's for this very mission. We're going to pick up the 3rd Protoss research, and then scan the bottom right hand corner, and drop a mule. Isn't that beautiful? But there you go. That's all the Protoss research that you ever needed. A good time in this mission is 250. A really good time is 248. An average time is 252. So I was playing it a bit safe. Usually it comes down to how well you deal with the cannon at the end. There's definitely quicker ways to do it, but they're oftentimes riskier. So you're going to see a bunch of cutscenes. We're going to go to the laboratory and pick up drop pods, as well as double SCV. This is the last laboratory visit of the game. That's all you did. Now we're going to go do the battlecruiser mission, Sigma Quadrant. If you've never seen this mission before, it's really cool. I love it. It's probably the one that blew my mind the most. Because if you played this game casually, you know how long this mission can take. So we're going to Yamato cannon all of these battlecruisers, split up their damage the best you can, and I always make sure to send 1 battlecruiser forward to Next, we're going to build a Ghost Academy, 2 tech labs. Make sure it's all shift queued. Oh, sorry, you're doing multiple buildings as well. You're going to drop a mule and collect all these minerals and gas. Start another Ghost Academy. Get a nuke. Make one of them cancel. Build a ghost. Lift up the starport, build another barracks. Make sure all their SCVs are shift queued. Get the next nuke. You don't need these minerals, but you can get them for safety if you want. So I've hotkeyed both barracks, and we're going to click on this diamond right next to the goal. And so with drop pods, these ghosts are going to land. And they're going to drop some nukes, and they're going to win the game very, very quickly. So my first ghost drops. I need to select it before the second cutscene. I need to select it and cloak it. So it's very, very tricky, and you'll probably lose quite a few games to this. Now, count until your second one is almost out, then start your first nuke. Because you don't want the generator to be regenerating its shields, if that makes sense. So before you drop the second nuke as well, I try and shoot it just once as well. It means it only regenerates like 5 shields, as opposed to like 20, and that's a couple of seconds. So there you go, that mission is over. And this was a 223, which is quite good. I reckon a 221 is possible, but I've only ever seen 222s. So next, we're going to go to Char. And these missions with drop pods, you can do them very, very fast. And they're very, very fun, so. The Gates of Hell, it's a very tricky mission, and the start of it is very, very multitasking heavy. So I'm going to select all my SCVs at the start, build a barracks, build 2 SCVs, drop a mule. Collect these minerals with these 3 marines, group up my marauders and medics, and they're going to be a squad that picks up all these other minerals. These marines are going to pick up the minerals down here, and then I'm going to start a 3rd barracks, and it's going to make sure that I'm using all my SCVs to complete them as quickly as possible. On the barracks, you want to immediately be making reactors on them, and you want to get +1 attack. Next, you can toggle the minimap to see where the creep is, and start building medics, and we're going to rally. You might not have seen it exactly, but I rallied on the minimap to where the drop site is. So we're just going to be dropping an army in right there. Throughout all of this as well, you need to make sure that you don't lose any units, and you are constantly building SCVs, okay? The other thing that we do, once we collect these minerals, is we're going to be building 12 medics. 12 medics is the number, because it's just sort of the way it works out. Medics provide to supply, so you want to get to the supply, 100 army supply, as quickly as possible, right? But you need enough marines to deal with it at the end. So we've just found that 12 medics works out the best. So you'll figure out ways to count 12 medics, but then after that, all marines, all SCVs, nothing more. Kill the spine crawler, collect the last mineral patch. You also notice that I started salvaging my bunkers for more money, and I also pulled one of my tanks back. It's very easy to lose that first tank if you don't move it back. Now once you get some marines up here, you want to start moving forward and clearing out. In this clip, I actually don't do it very well. I leave it a bit late. But you really want to be moving forward before Matt Horner says something, right? Because you want to clear out all of the units. Because see, I'm going to drag all these units down the bottom and have to deal with them first. It can be a bit annoying. But it can also be tricky as well, because you don't want to lose any marines, right? Because then that delays you as well. So there you go. Kill both Night Swarms. And move on to the 3rd. Stim, just stim on it. You don't have to worry about the bailing that comes up. And there you go. You've done this mission quite quickly. The fastest I've ever done this mission, I think, is 340. Yeah, I think 340. But maybe 342. This is a 348, which is very, very good as well. But we saw where my slight mistake was. So we're going to be going to the second last mission of the game, which is Shatter the Sky. So we're going to be attacking the platform. If you sabotage the tunnels, that takes like 10 minutes as well. Shatter the Sky you can do in 2 minutes 30 if you're really on top of it. It is a very, very tricky mission though. You're going to have to practice it quite a bit, but that's okay. Immediately start a tech lab, build a ghost academy, and put 2 guys in gas. I'm going to send all our army down to the bottom. I'm going to toggle the minimap so I can see the creep. And I'm going to send my battlecruiser through the creep because it avoids spore crawlers. And I'm sending my battlecruiser to the bottom left-hand base, but it's, traveling a very safe path. You're going to send your banshees forward, deal with the spine crawler. Marines get to kill this platform. Nice and simple. Now with my first marine, I'm going to drop it down here. You need to select it immediately, because if you don't select it, it's going to attack a drone, and then a hydralisk is going to come and attack it, right? So you need to make sure that that marine that you drop only ever shoots that overseer, okay? So we build 2 marines that kill this one. We send 2 banshees to this base. Deal with the 3 hydralisk. Now you're going to find that it's very, very tough to do this the first time. It's a lot of multitasking. But you'll get there eventually, I'm sure. So our battlecruisers reach the end. You might have to kill some mutalisks there, but that's fine. Our ghost has dropped. By the way, we built a ghost. And it's going to nuke the final thing. And then you're going to Yamato cannon and shift click onto the final coolant tower. Throughout all of this as well, make sure you're stimming the marines to the bottom right. And there you go. A nice quick time for you. Which is 2:26. One of the fastest times I've ever done it. If you want to be really, really greedy, you can nuke your battlecruiser even more. But it's very, very risky. And then you just go on to the last mission. The last mission is one that you can't lose time on. Well, at least you can't lose time on it in-game time. You can lose a tiny bit real time. But that just happens if you don't kill Kerrigan right away. So I'll show you how I set this up. But it's quite simple. I make a lot of room. Put all the marines in the bunkers. And I just like building command centers, I build command centers so that I can get rid of all my SCVs and have a bigger army. We're going to build 1 Banshee though. And these Banshees is going to be patrolling in our base. And the Banshees deal with any Nidus worms that spawn on the low ground, which can be a bit troublesome, but the Banshees deal with it just fine, especially if you build 4. The next main thing that we're going to do in this mission is we're going to build a bunch of barracks. Marine Medic, it's your bread and butter. It's very nice and simple. And then you start transitioning into battlecruisers. Really, you don't have to transition into battlecruisers. You could just play Marine Medic the entire time. But, I like slowly building more battlecruisers. Because the nice thing about the Yamato cannon is that it will deal with the Nidus worms very, very easily. So I'm sending these SCVs out to each of the sides. Start building some bunkers. Nice and simple. And there. Just keep building SCVs, keep muling, keep doing all this kind of good stuff. I go up to like 9 or 11 command centers just because I can. And then I think I go up to like 8 or 9 barracks. You'll see how I position them. As well as 3 starports. This mission you really can't lose if you're paying a bit of attention. So yeah. Enjoy. It's a good way to relax and slow down at the end of the run. Usually as well, if the run has gone poorly, you don't have to play this mission, right? So while it does take 20-30 minutes, because it's the very final mission of the game, you only have to do it if you know that you've got like a world record run or a personal best. So while entire run does take an hour 50. 20 minutes of it is this. So yeah. I start adding the barracks. I'm going to build more command centers because I can. I'm not going to show you this entire mission, of course. But yeah, so I hope this has tickled your interests into StarCraft 2 speedrunning. It's really, really fun. I'll probably do a guide if you guys like this video for Heart of the Swarm, because Heart of the Swarm is also quite a fun campaign. And maybe one day I'll get around to Legacy of the Void, but that game I haven't run yet. But yeah, if you guys like this content, please think about liking this video, commenting any thoughts, any questions. I'll be answering anything. And subscribing to the channel as well, because I think we're almost at 1,000 subscribers, which is kind of cool. And I am coming back to YouTube. I know I said, I always say that, I guess, but I felt a bout of motivation, so I'm actually finally getting around to it. And hopefully very soon as well, you'll be able to see me getting the world record in this game as well. Yeah, so I'm just going to skip to the end of this mission. Make sure you kill Kerrigan before the very end. If you don't kill Kerrigan before the very end, it is a way that you can actually lose time. So, yeah. But regardless, the in-game time on this mission is always 30 minutes and 8 seconds. Kind of got a bit dicey for me at the very end, but it's all good. And there you go. Congratulations, you've completed your first speedrun. Hopefully one of many more to come. Once you're done with this speedrun, if you want to count your in-game time, you just have to go back into the campaign and into the mission archives, and they'll tell you the exact in-game time that is used to count towards the world record. So yeah guys, I hope you guys have really, really enjoyed this video. You guys have really been enjoying my Twitch streams where I've been speedrunning, so I thought I'd do this for anybody who wants to get involved. It's a really, really fun speedrun. I really enjoyed it. I think it would be awesome if more people got involved as well. So have a very good time. Peace out, guys. Stay safe.